takes a very deep breath from her mouth and moves her shoulders while the interviewer. Let's analyze the body language of Melinda while she talks about Epstein and Bill Gates. The first thing I noticed in her body language is her expressiveness. She uses her body and facial muscles a lot to convey the intended message. So let's play the video now, and I want you to pay a very close attention to her body language.
I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room at this moment. Your ex-husband, Bill, is named in the newest tranche of Epstein files.
So what we see here is she takes a very deep breath from her mouth and moves her shoulders while the interviewer frames the context and names Bill Gates. By doing it, she is not just preparing to answer, but it also tells that she is having a really high level of cognitive tension in her mind. She is finding really hard to suppress her emotions. Then she makes a face like this.
Bill is named in the newest tranche of Epstein.
When the interviewer says your ex-husband Bill Gates is named in the newest tranche of Epstein files. As a result, what happens here is her lip corners pull back. Her eyebrows raise, nostrils open up a bit. This is the face that people often make when they hear something really bad, but they cannot do anything about it. They have no choice but to accept it happily. This type of facial expression may have an element of subtle satisfaction also, like a sense of satisfaction to jump off a ship before it drowned. She is wearing headphones to communicate, and in this particular moment we see that she closes her eyes, which means she is accepting and absorbing the information what she is hearing. It is very interesting to observe that each time Melinda agrees to something, she makes a subtle but clear head nod. That's her baseline, and this baseline is very important before you make conclusion out of any analysis. When the interviewer tells Melinda that she has the opportunity to respond in whatever way she wants,
And I want to give you the opportunity to respond in whatever way you want to.
Well, let me say this.
Melinda squints her eyes to increase the focus, and then she looks towards her left, which is usually associated with visual memory recall, like something what a person has seen with their own eyes. So probably she is not building something on her own. She is recalling the visuals.
No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein.
Then she says no girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein. Her eyebrows make an inverted V like this. At that moment, some lines in the forehead and between the eyebrows get appeared, which is a classic sign of real sadness. Then her vocal tone also gives a slight hint of nasal touch when she says,
No girl.
and this nasal touch is then followed by a kind of heaviness in the pitch, which also gives a hint of real empathetic sadness.
For me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up. Right?
Then a stoic smile appears on her face when she says, for me, it is personally hard. It gives a sense of her ability to adapt well to adversity, trauma, and significant stress, which allows her to bounce back from difficult experiences. It is very important for me to say this again, that Melinda is extremely expressive in terms of her body language. She is not someone who is disassociative or has emotional numbness. No, she is extremely reactive to emotions.
Place in my life. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it. Those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Well,
And I am so happy.
We see that she uses her hands when she wants to distance herself from painful experiences, but she also makes sure that her hands are visible in the frame because of her expressive nature. It's an interesting data point that she is visualizing all the bad things on her left hand side, and on her right hand side she is visualizing all the good things like the God.
well,
And I am so happy to be away from all the muck
yeah.
that was there.
Then she makes a single shoulder shrug when she says, I'm so happy to be away from the muck. Perhaps this single shoulder shrug conveys that muck was there, but now I don't care. Then the interviewer says that I have to put context to the word muck.
Yeah.
That it was there.
I have to put more words to the muck for context for our listeners. The emails in the files suggest that Bill Gates.
And by listening to this, Melinda's smile vanishes. Perhaps she does not want to dig more, as that may possibly hurt her emotionally. Now, here is the most interesting part of this analysis, as something really interesting happens here. Melinda starts selective head nods. Melinda nods her head in a very subtle manner when the interviewer says Epstein file says that Bill Gates had additional affairs.
The emails in the files suggest that Bill Gates had additional affairs and that he tried to get medication to
Then Melinda again nods her head on the disease part,
sexually transmitted infection.
but she does not nod when the interviewer says Bill Gates wanted to secretly give Melinda some sort of medication.
And that he was going to give you the medicine without you knowing.
Even though the interviewer nods her head to seek approval from Melinda, she does not receive any non-verbal confirmation on this medical claim. The interviewer appears to be trying to verify the truth by nodding emphatically, but Melinda gives no approval on that particular point. So this raises the question whether the medication allegation is shallow, with little or no proof, and driven mainly by existing evidence against Bill Gates. I'm not certain, but the narrative of secretly giving medication appears less believable. Thank you for watching.